Right, so I want to talk a bit about the tropics because we are just past the peak of hurricane season, and so I wanted to compare the numbers where we should be typically this time of year versus where we are. And I'm taking some numbers from the National Hurricane Center, and these numbers are important. So September 16th is the date that I am looking at right now, and we're just a couple of days away from that, and September 19th. So by September 16th, again, just a couple of days away, oftentimes when looking at climatology over the past 30 years, we would often have 9 storms total that have formed in the Atlantic, 4 of those being hurricanes and 2 of those being major hurricanes. Again, those are numbers we typically should see this time of year going back to data 30 years ago. What are the numbers looking like so far? Well, we're short of that in all the categories right now. So a slow season thus far, 6 named storms in 2025. The average, the 30-year average is 14. In total, hurricanes 7 by the end of the year, and we've only had 1, and that was a major hurricane, Aaron. So we continue to watch a fairly slow progression of the hurricane season, the 2025 Atlantic. Now, one interesting statistic, this comes from Phil Klotzbach. He is a brilliant meteorologist for the Colorado State University and does a ton of research with a big team. 2025 is the first season since 1992 and will be the second since 1950 to have 0 named storms between late August and mid-September if this continues over the next couple of days. One thing I want to note about 1992, a lot of folks in Florida know about this one. Hurricane Andrew made landfall in South Florida in 1992, but the rest of the storms stayed out pretty much in the Atlantic, with the exception of Danielle that made some impacts across the Northeast. This is the type of season we're looking at. Haven't had quite the intense like Andrew making a landfall across the Southeast. We hope that does not happen whatsoever, but we had the one major hurricane, and that was Aaron, that stayed offshore. So what are we looking at as of right now? Things remain quiet across the Gulf. There is that frontal boundary stalled to our south and east, not going to become tropical, at least that's the expectation right now. There is a tropical wave off the coast of Africa. Again, we've been tracking these waves for months now, and it's really typically September we start to see that train get a bit more active. But what's been going on is these tropical waves off the coast of Africa have been fighting a lot of Saharan dust, and we've seen a lot more than we typically see. That Saharan dust machine often starts to shut down by the time we get to September. Has not happened. That's the kind of murky look you're seeing over here coming off the coast of Africa. This tropical wave initially, especially on the north side, is fighting that as of right now. Looks like it could move into a bit more of a favorable environment as we head into either the end of Sunday or early next week. That's why the National Hurricane Center does have a 40% chance of possible development over the next 7 days. I've got an update at 8 o'clock, and I'll show you any changes from the National Hurricane Center. But notice the curve to the north and west. If anything develops in this region, it would likely curve out to sea. That's just my initial estimation. Again, nothing has developed at this point in time. We'll hope that it stays that way.